much time I got? 33:14. Okay. What's going on, everybody? You got the Raging Rob here. And I don't do this very often, but I'm going to do this. I got a confession to make. It's not really a confession. It's a trucker's story. Now, I just want everybody to know that no laws were broken. Nobody was injured. Anything like that. Camera. So, before you nerds start flagging and doing what you do. But anyway, it's not really a confession. It's something that happened a few years ago when I was truck driving. Hasn't really been bothering me, but it's just something that's kind of, I guess you could say it was funny, but some people won't say it's funny, depending on what way you look at it. But it's something that happened a few years ago, and I'm not going to say where it happened. I'm just going to say it was a small town in Texas. I'm not going to say where. I'm not going to say what company or this and that and what, whatever. I'm not going to even say what year it happened, but it happened. I mean, there's no proof that it happened. There's no record of it or anything like that. So, but anyway, let's just cut to the chase. Part of doing YouTube is you express yourself. Don't be afraid to express yourself. So, anyway, I watched Boogie 298's video this morning about, he was at VidCon and he was saying, hey, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Blah 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 blah. I don't know, just And Boogie 298, I made some busting your ball jokes about the guy, about his weight, and I was just busting his balls. I didn't mean to offend him or anything. Anyway, he's a good guy to look up to, and he has my total support. So anyway, a few years ago, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I was driving to Texas. Small town in Texas. I couldn't even know what highway it was. It was like probably about 10 or 12 years ago this happened, like when I first started driving. So anyway, I'm driving. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know where I was headed. I can't remember. It was like 12 years ago, 10 years ago, 9 years ago, somewhere in there. Anyway, I was driving, 2 o'clock in the morning, come up to this small town. You have an engine brake. It helps you slow down in the mountains. It helps you, basically what an engine brake is. It just kind of slows down the engine, or basically, I don't suggest, there's some truckers out there just ride their engine brake. I don't do that. I don't use it unless I absolutely feel it's necessary. That's why I know how to drive in the mountains, lower gears, and just watch your speed, and blah 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 blah, depending on your weight. And I've been doing this 13 years. I know how to drive a fucking truck. So anyway, come up in this small town, 2 o'clock in the morning, South Texas. Just cruising along. Small town. I'm talking the buildings. The downtown area, the small town has the buildings right on the freaking street. Ridiculously close. Stupidly close. Like barely a sidewalk. 25 mile an hour. It was an older truck I had. It had the cup holder like up here on a dash, and the engine brake was like right here, just below it. So I reach up to grab my, I had a snack or something, like a Rice Krispies bar or something, sitting on the dash, and I just reached up and grabbed it. Took a bite out of it. I accidentally dropped it. It just fell, I don't know what happened, it just fell out of my hand, and it accidentally dropped. In the process of dropping, my engine brake went off. It bumped somehow when I dropped it, when I reached up and dropped it, it fell onto my button for the engine brake. And there's some of these trucks have a level of engine brake, And I had mine set for the 3rd level, which is the highest, the loudest, and the toughest. The hardest. And my Rice Krispies bar fell on the button of the engine brake at 2 o'clock in the morning in a small town with buildings right on the fucking street. I'm thinking, shit. And then I heard my engine brake go off. I'm like, fuck. And then I heard an alarm go off. I'm like, what the fuck? I heard something that sounded like glass shattering and an alarm system going off. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell was that? And I'm sitting here at the red light. I mean, this is right before I hit the red light. When I bumped my brake, and I heard the, it was totally my fault. It was an accident. Didn't think much of it. Turned my brake off, and I noticed I kept hearing this alarm going off. I heard what I thought glass shattering. I thought it was my imagination. And I heard this alarm. Beow, 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 beow. I'm looking for the sirens, and I don't see no cops or ambulances coming. I'm like, where the hell is this alarm coming from? I look over at the building, and it had some kind of light on the inside the store or whatever. It had some kind of light flashing, and I thought, and it was flashing to the tone of the alarm. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't think much of it. I'm like, what the hell set that off? I'm thinking, uh-oh. And I look a little closer to the sidewalk, and there's just a shitload of glass on the sidewalk. I'm thinking, oh fuck. My engine brake was so loud. My engine brake was so loud, it shattered the fucking glass. I'm like, fuck. And this was like 10 years ago. They didn't have security cameras outside stores like they do now. So this is before social media was big. The engine brake fucking shattered the glass of the building and set the alarm off. Oh, I'm like, oh my God. I felt like, I'm like, what do I do? It's 2 a.m. Can't park my truck anywhere on the side of the road. I just said, fuck it. A green light, I just took off. "10 miles later, here comes 2 cop cars with their sirens on and flashers racing towards town. I'm thinking, what the hell? Probably responding to a false alarm. They look like County Mountie sheriffs. I'm thinking, fuck. Now, I never heard another word about it. Never heard another word about it. Nobody tried to get a hold of me. I didn't hear anything in the news. I've heard nothing. And this is like 12 years ago. 10, 12. Somewhere in there. Nobody was injured. Nobody, no crime was committed or anything like that. It's just something it's been on my chest, and I just want to get it off my chest. It's a little trucker story. So, anyway, some of these nerds out here were all, oh my God, Raging, I'm admitting to a crime. Whatever. But I'm not going to say where this happened. I'm just going to say it's a small town in Texas. I'm not going to tell you what county, to protect myself. And it happened so many years ago. Nobody gives a shit. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.